Correct. So this 90 degree, this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree, and this is 90 degree. So when we add up all of these angles, this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle, it will add up to 360 degrees. So we can say that when we add up all of the angles in a square, they equals to 360 degree. Now, these are the two properties that we should be aware of for now. Let's try calculating its area. So just remember, there is a short technique that whatever the 2D shape you are dealing with, especially I'm talking about the four-sided shapes. So we have several four-sided shapes. The first four-sided shape is square. The second four-sided shape is rectangle. The third four-sided shape is parallelogram, and so on. So in most of the cases, all the four-sided shapes, the formula to calculate their area is similar. So what do I mean by that? You just have to multiply the neighboring sides of 90-degree angle. Now,
Mm.
this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree, this is 90 degree. So all of these angles are 90 degree. And what I just said is, if you have to calculate the area of a square, you just have to multiply the neighboring sides of the 90-degree angle. So, okay, so what is your name?
My name is Noor.
Noor. Okay, so Noor, can you tell me? I have labeled the sides as AB, BC, CD, and AD. Let's say if I'm taking this 90-degree angle, which two sides do I multiply to get the answer of the area of a square?
B. No, no, C.
Repeat. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
C, C.
C. So this one?
Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you one thing. The proper way to call a side is by two letters. So if I'm referring to this side, the one that I just highlighted right now with red, if I want to call this side, I will use two letters D and C. So this side is known as side DC. Okay. So now Noor, can you tell me this side, the one that I just highlighted with red, what will it be called?
Side BC.
It will be called side BC, or you can also call it side CB. It doesn't matter if C is first or B is first, it totally doesn't matter at all. So for sides, we use two alphabets, and for angles, we use a single alphabet. So if I say angle B, then I'm referring to this angle. If I say angle A, then I'm referring to this angle. If I say angle D, then I'm referring to this angle. So now, again, my question was, if I'm using the angle D, Noor, can you tell me which two sides are we going to multiply?
AD. Side AD.
We are going to side multiply AD. And what about the other side?
Um, DA.
DA. No, no. You are mixing it. So basically side AD and side DA. Both of these are same sides. And to calculate the area, we have to multiply two sides. So this side AD is only one side. And the next side will be side DC. So
Oh,
this side DC and this side AD will be multiplied if I'm talking about this 90-degree angle right here. 90-degree angle is always represented by a square. So now let's try to move things a little bit further. If I ask you, Noor, if I'm using this angle, angle C, now can you tell me which two sides are we going to multiply in order to get the area of a square?
BC.
Side BC. And what about the other one?
DC.
That is correct. That is correct. So I hope this is clear to you that
Yes.
whenever we are dealing with any four-sided shape, we just have to multiply the neighboring sides of 90-degree angle. So this is 90-degree angle. So the neighboring side will be side BC and side DC. Now let's say if I take angle A, so the neighboring side of angle A will be side AB and side AD. Is that clear, Noor?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's try to write the formula of a square. So whenever we have to calculate the area of a square, the formula is to multiply side by side. So we represent side by L. L means length. So we multiply L by L, and if we simplify it, do you know that we can also write it as L to the power 2?
Yeah.
And why did we write it as L to the power 2? Because whenever there is a alphabet, there is an alphabet or there is a number that is being multiplied to itself. So in this case, L and L is being multiplied to itself. So instead of writing it again and again, we can simply write it one time, and the number of repetitions, we write that as power. So if I write L times L, instead of writing it again and again and again, I can write it as L to the power 3. So the area of a square, the formula is L square. And just as I talked about in the beginning, the first property of a square is that all the sides are equal. So if I have to label the sides, side AB is L, so side DC will be L as well. Side BC will be L as well, and side AD will be as well. So now let's try to put some numbers in here. If I put 5 centimeter as the length of AB. Noor, can you tell me the length of side DC?
Um, like any number,
Yes. How long will it be in centimeters?
3 centimeters.
3 centimeters. Okay, so where did you get 3 from?
I just randomly guessed.
Okay, no, 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 you do not have to guess, because if you notice, I have written the length 5 centimeter of side AB, and in square, we know that all the sides are equal. So if length AB is 5 centimeter, then side DC will be 5 centimeter as well, and side BC will be 5 centimeter as well. So all of the sides will be equal. So if I tell you any one side of a square, you can simply identify all the sides of a square. So if side AB is 5, Noor, can you tell me length of side AD?
5.
5 centimeter. That is correct. Can you tell me the length of side DC?
5.
It will be 5 centimeter as well. And if I ask you about the length of